of progress committed to shaping a future where individuals are equipped with the technological powers needed to strive in the ever-evolving landscape. That's all we are all. Well, that's what we do, and that's what Next Gen is all about. We are a digital hub of innovation, and we also believe in integrity in this area of business world. Our core values encompass this abbreviation of GREECE, which is innovation, global perspective. We look at things in a global perspective where we don't want to just be people that will be relevant in our local community. We don't want to just be relevant in the state alone, but we want to be relevant in the whole wide world. So we bring closer some of the skills that are trending in the world today. We bring it closer to you so that you'll be able to be equipped in this area and be fit for anywhere that you could work. So majorly we focus on equipping you to get some remote work in abroad, and also to get some tech tech work also that could enable you to have some opportunities that people outside there is also having. We also believe in integrity, we believe in collaboration, and we believe in excellence. We believe that nobody is just an island. We share ideas, we share opportunities, we share some values with each other to just ensure that we are able to learn, we are able to unlearn, and we are able to relearn in Next Gen Digital. Then our services entail some in-demand tech skills that will enable us to individuals to become a digital trailblazers in the next generation. Our academic train and mentor people on the following tech skills. We mentor people on the skills of data analytics. We are still in the progress of rounding up our data analysis cohort for this year. We started sometime in around 9th, I think 7th of January, and we'll be rounding up very soon. And we have the UI UX design product, the one you just enrolled for now. And I just want to congratulate you that you are part of those that will be learning these skills and taking up these tech skills in this area of UI UX design. Then we also offer mobile application development, front-end technology, back-end technology, digital marketing, graphics, and all other services that we also render to individuals. Then for us in Next Gen Digital Academy, we are not just a group of people, we are a team of people that are licensed under a corporation, under the corporation of the Corporate Affairs Commission. So this is our legal license, and this company has been since 2023, November 2023, and it then means that our certificates are of value. Our certificate is coming from a registered company. So we are not just offering these services for free. It also comes with your certificate, although with a token, but we ensure that what we are offering you is something that what at a different level. And part of the things we do to maintain our integrity is to ensure that nobody will be issued our certificate without going through the process of our grading systems, being assessed appropriately, following all the quiz processes, and also the custom project that will be offered at the end of the day. And in this, our organization, we have a pass mark for any individuals to be issued a certificate. So you are not just coming here to just come and listen. You are not just coming here to just be a participant. You are also coming here to also be involved in what we are doing, so that at the end of the day you have something to show for it. So we have our legal license through the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our certificate of incorporation, and also we are called Next Gen Digital Academy. Then that is all what I just want to introduce about our company, so that we can just start with this class. But before we go further, I know that on the platform we have been sent our roadmap. There's a roadmap for this course. Please endeavor to go through the roadmap. Endeavor to go through the roadmap. It's very important. Let me see if I can share the roadmap here. Okay, please hold on. Is very important. This is the roadmap for this course, and part of the things we'll be learning in this course is on the area of we are going to be learning the fundamentals of UI UX design. We'll learn the user interface design basic. We'll learn introduction to Figma as a design tool. We'll also learn on designing a mini project at the end of the day. All of these are part of the assessments that we are going to be looking at, because each of the lessons that you'll be embarking on, you are going to be assessed and evaluated appropriately for each of the lessons. And if at the end of the day you are not able to show competency in what you have been taught, it then mean that we will not issue you our certificate at the end of the day. We just want to ensure that whoever is getting our certificate is somebody that have learned on that particular skills and will be able to deliver. So this cohort is not all about just getting certificate. It's about you knowing the skills you have come to learn, and also be able to show some level of competency in the skills that you are learning. Then another thing we have also sent on the platform is the course schedule. Please feel free to go through all of these things and study them appropriately. Our courses, our live classes will be holding every Sunday, and it will be between 8 to 9. But because this is the onboarding class that we are having, we might extend it a bit. So please ensure that you mark this in your calendar so that you'll be able to know the exact time for the lectures, because your participation is very important, and some of the things that you need to do is also very important. Then I would also like you to know that in next gen, we have what we call a grading systems by which we use in evaluating our students. And our grading systems looks like something like this. I'm going to show you before I introduce our educator for tonight. This grading system will still be sent to you, so just relax. You are still going to get the grading system. I think in the grading system, no. I think I'm having. Let me remove this. This is the grading system. So you'll be graded by participation and attendance in the live classes, the quiz, the assessment, and also the assessment for the week 2, and also the assessment for the week 3. You also be graded by using those assessments, and those assessment is what we will be using. So for participation and attendance, you have 10 marks. For quiz, you have 20 marks. Then for the assessment for week 2 and 3 is 35 marks, and for the mini project on Figma is 35 marks. That's 100%. But at the end of the day, it is not everybody that is going to participate in this will be awarded the certificate, because we want to ensure that before you can get certificate, you must have at least a grade of A or B or C. Anybody that falls under the grade of D and E will not be awarded the certificate. And for the grade of A, B, C, A is 80% and above, B is 70 to 79%, and C is 60 to 69%. Then any grade lower than 60% will not be eligible for certificate, but such person can queue up for our next cohort when this might be coming up, to have an opportunity to also participate again. So we don't just rule you out of this. All right, let me just quickly introduce our educator for this course, UI UX design class. Is an expert in this area, and is somebody that have also worked in some organizations well-known organizations have displayed some level of competency in this area that will be taking us through the process of this UI UX design from the beginning to the end of the class. So please, I will just encourage each and every one of you to pay attention and also follow the class through by which is going to guide us in this class. So I'm just going to welcome him now, and he's going to take over from here. And subsequently, for our next classes, we also be the one that will be doing justice to each of the things that we have aligned in our roadmap for this course. So kindly join me with a stump up on your chat box to specially welcome Mr. Sukomi. I just call him Sukomi. I think that is better. Just kindly help me to welcome him with a stump of Sukomi to this platform as it takes us through the process of UI UX design. You're welcome. You're welcome, Mr. Sukomi. You're welcome. He's our expert to take us through this process. So I'm going to meet now as he starts his class and also bring down my slides. Thank you very much for just listening to me. God bless.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are joining the class from. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Ogundele. I appreciate the introduction. I am actually just Sukomi. The class is going to start now. It's good that you walk us through all the necessary things that we need to know regarding the course outline, the roadmap, and you're also aware that we have grading system that eventually will be used to grade us, and that grading system will determine who is going to get the certificate. So to add up to what you have said, I'm one of the facilitators at Next Gen, and Mr. Ogudele is our boss on the platform. So he's also taking a class for some of us, or some other people who have actually joined the data analytics classes. I've also seen some of his videos and joined some of the classes to also just come and see how things work there. So he has been doing wonderfully well on that part. So I believe that I'll try my best here to also actually follow his footstep to do justice to this UIS part of the program. So let's get started. I would share my screen now while I start. So the modality of this class is that we're going to be having live classes like this, where there will be room for interactions between myself and everyone on the everyone joining the course. So, and then there's going to be another version of the class where I would have to record the class and then post on the administrator of this platform will post on YouTube for us to see. So if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, so I would recommend that you do that, so that you can follow up with the classes. We know the time frame, we might not, with the time frame that we have, we might not be able to cover up everything on a live class like this. So for us to study ahead of the class and be able to cover more, so we're going to be having 2 classes in a week. One will be live class like this, and the other will just be for us to go on YouTube to watch whatever has been uploaded for us. It might be the continuation of a particular class that we are treating. So like this class that we're going to treat this night, we're going to have the continuation posted on YouTube from tomorrow. So we can go on YouTube and see that and then follow up with the class. Then that would actually determine what will be done in the coming week. Then there will also be assessment at the end of each of the classes. And the way you attend to those assessments will determine what your grade would look like. They are going to be basically simple questions that would be generated from the things that we'll be treating in the class. So we know we have busy people joining the class, and at the same time, we also want you to actually get the rudiment of everything that we are teaching. We don't just want it to be, we don't want to do it for the sake of just doing it. We want to make, we want to actually make impact, and eventually want to have people joining this class who would eventually get jobs and get opportunities. So we're going to be giving tips and open us to different ways we can actually attract opportunities at the end of this course. So people that would remain, like people that will remain in that trend, will be people who are actually following up and also attending to all assessments that have been given. If I look at your record and I see that you're not attending to assessments, you're not being regular in classes. So when that time comes, when we start, basically mentorship, like doing things beyond the class, trying to put you through on how to get opportunities in the path. That's the major reason why a lot of us join this class. So your record will determine the further relationship between you and next gen. Let me just put it that way. So whatever you have as your grade will determine your relationship between you and next gen after and within and during the course. So I will encourage that we take this very seriously and we are attending to assessments. So I'll go ahead and share my screen now to start the class. Confirm if you can see my screen, please. I might need voice interaction because I'm out of Google Meet now, so I'm now on another platform. So I might need voice interaction to confirm that you guys are following up. So 1 or 2 people can actually unmute and then talk when I require you to do so. So yeah, it has been confirmed that I'm audible. You can hear me. Okay. So again, my name is Sukomi. My full name is Ademewa Sukomi Latif. And then somebody is on mute. Okay. So I'm a senior product designer at Alexo. So it's a company in Nigeria. And then I would share the slide with you guys. So you can click on the link to actually connect with me on LinkedIn after the course. Then what we'll be treating for the first class, as it has been introduced by Mr. Ogundele, is basically the fundamental of UI UX. So I know a lot of people joining this course. We have different categories of people joining the course. Some are beginners who have not even probably heard about UI UX before, or probably have heard it before but doesn't know what UI UX means. And we might have people who probably have known all these things but have not really been able to have opportunity to practice and get on practical things around UI UX. So we want to treat understanding UI UX design. So basically, yeah, all this has been introduced to us. We have the course schedule, then we have the roadmap. So basically, UI UX is a blend of creativity and science. So it is just it is one of a lot of tech skills that we have. One out of a lot of tech skills we have, but this particular part of tech skills combines creativity and science. Some people might, be trying to discover themselves on what course will they take, as in what part should they train in tech. So some people have a lot of difficulties in discovering that. So I always advise that the first thing that you should do is self-discovery, to understand what you do, your personality. Some people are very creative. and some can be very good also with sciences. So it doesn't matter if you are a science student or not. So you are just good with, nature. You are just good with understanding people. You're just good with psychology. So, it has to do with the way you treat matter when they bring matter to you for discussion, the way you attend to things. It doesn't mean you have to study all these things in school. So this is a course that has been put in place to actually educate you on things to do. We do not necessarily need to come here and start studying chemistry, physics, and all. No. So what part of science do you need to study to understand UI UX? So everything will be treated here. So the part of science that is necessary is called the human psychology. So the human psychology together with creativity. And what is human psychology? Human psychology is basically understanding how things are being done and why, you're troubling yourself. Somebody who is also always very troubled about how things are done, and you always want to do things right. You always pay attention to details. You always want to get things done right. We have a lot of designers around us that we don't know that they are designers. Let me take for example the furnitures, the plumbers, the bricklayers. They are designers. So they are actually crafting something based on the way they understand that this is how human being will relate with it. So human psychology. So if you want to climb staircase, staircase are being climbed upward. You have to make it in a they know the length on how you have to lift your leg before you climb. If they make it too high, this can cause issue. Understanding all those psychology about around how human relate with things, it is what we are talking about here. So when you want to open your door, the control, that handle that you open, how do you handle it? How do you hold it? Does that handle have to go up far to the top while you have to climb something before you're able to open your door? Your experiences with things you use daily at home, all these things are being studied by some people, and then they crafted style around it, that okay, this is how these things should be. So if you go to another country, for instance, and you discover that there are different experiences around how you relate, they are opening their doors differently from the way you open your door in Nigeria, you would know some tiny details that you do not notice because you are doing it regularly every day, and you don't even notice that they are part of all these things are being studied by some set of people, and they discover that this is how it should be. You just got to another country, you discover that this is not how this thing work, and it's a bit different. There's a bit different in this thing. You start noticing all those differences. So we want to understand the creativity. So I mentioned earlier that some people are creative and some might not. You might not be creative in the beginning. Joining this course, you don't have to trouble yourself too much that I'm not creative, I cannot do UI UX. Sometimes creativity can actually be discovered by you from probably childhood. The way you play with things, so people around you start telling you, this guy is very creative. And creativity is not all about knowing how to draw, knowing how to sketch. No, it is beyond that. It is beyond all those things. So creativity is basically how to understand problem. Somebody came to you, explain a problem to you, and you did not just give judgment immediately that, this is what you should do, and you just go about doing the wrong thing. So the person, if it's going to take you to tell the person to go and come back, you did that. Go, let me think about it. You give it a thought. You crafted a creative way of presenting or talking to that person, and then eventually the person came back, and then you gave the person the creative advice. Or you are in a company working, and then there was a problem around something, and then you are creative about what you suggest to solve the problem. So creativity can be that. It's not all about sketching and drawing. So If you don't know how to sketch or draw or drag anything, there's no problem. So I've explained what UI UX is all about. It is the blend of creativity and science, and it is one out of a lot of skills in tech. So for some of you that has been wanting to join tech, I say welcome to you. So so UI UX design play a vital role in crafting user-friendly and visually appealing interfaces for software, mobile app, and websites. So basically what you will be doing. So when I mention software, mobile app, and websites, some people might be thinking, oh, I'll be coding, I'll have to do HTML, CSS. No, you are basically going to be designing all this. So in those days when, building website, mobile app are very difficult to do because everything can be managed by just single person. There were no lot of UI UX designers, especially in Nigeria at that period. One person will just design, and then the website or whatever it is, the product that they came about would not be user friendly. It will not be visually appealing. You will not look at it and like it at all. There are still a lot of websites like that, even till today. So that is not really visually appealing. For instance, let's look Naira Land, or what's the name of this? Is it Nigeria Loaded or Naira Land? One news platform like that. So compare that with Punch, compare it with Vanguard and all those. You enjoy reading news online on Punch, on Vanguard, on all those popular ones than going to a place where you don't even understand what is going on the app. So that is basically what UI UX is going to actually help you to understand how to craft user-friendly and visually appealing interfaces for software, for mobile application and website. And beyond all this, there is also building of products like physical products. All these things that I mentioned are digital products, physical product, but our own focus will be based on digital product. So as I move on, you see some examples that I cited about bad UX and good UX. So I cited some examples around physical products. And I believe that a lot of people on this call will be able to relate because of sometimes when you go to restroom in a particular place, you saw that the way the lot of accessories that they have in the restroom are being positioned is not even in line with what you have in your house. It's not, you have to inconvenience yourself before you can use those restrooms and a lot of other things like that. So I'll show samples of those things. You guys will be able to relate. So the primary focus when you're a UI UX design, what you're doing, your primary focus is basically to ensure that you are enhancing user satisfaction and also usability. You make sure that whatever product you are designing, you're working on, the user is satisfied, the user is happy about using it, and then the product is usable. It's not a product that is developed or a product that is eventually a developer developed it and is not usable, is useless. It's just you have an app on Play Store or Apple Store, is not useless. People are not downloading it because they have bad experiences about it. So that's basically the focus. So the UI UX is just like somebody who helps the business or whatever product you want to build to build a template or a blueprint of the product, how it's going to look. The visual way is going to look, a mock-up, like a model of how the website or whatever it is will look before transferring it to the developer to code. And will be able to developer, once they see a clue on what they are building, it's always very easy for them to in their development stage. Do you understand? So unlike when you just give the developer the task to go and build website without giving that developer a clue or a mock-up or a model of what they are going to work on. So these are the key points we actually derived from understanding what UI UX is all about. So it combines creativity, which is the aesthetics, and then user psychology, or we call it human psychology, understanding how user or human do things, how they do things, and how things should be done, how you relate with things. Then our goal basically is to create user-friendly and then create user-friendly, visual appealing, and then functional interface for apps, websites, and all. Then the impact that you want to make as UI UX designer is you want to make the user to be satisfied. You want to retain customers, because eventually when the user is satisfied, they'll get retained by the wonderful job that you have done. And then you want to help business to grow. So you want to help business to succeed. So why building the solution? Can anyone confirm if you can still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, fine. So, yes, you notice that in the word UI, UX, there are two things involved, UI and UX. So now we are going to break down the two terms for you to properly understand it. So what is UI? UI is basically the part of the UI UX, or part of the design that you're making that focus on the look and feel of the product. It basically focuses on the look and the feel of the product. You focus on how clean, how nice, the aesthetics part of the product is the UI, the layout, the interactivity of the design, how interactive the design is, and everything that has to do with the visuals is what UI is all about. So it involves creating interfaces that are visually appealing and aligned with brands and identity. So you'll be surprised that I've mentioned almost everything that I said about UI UX. So what should UX be all about? So you get to understand that better. So I wanted to note that and understand the difference between UI. The full meaning of UI is user interface. So as the name implies, user interface. So it focuses more on the interface, on what is open, on what the user sees. So let's take the Google Meet that we are using now, for instance. Let's go back to our Google Meet and see. Oh, the interface that you're seeing is is split into different categories. We have a part where it's showing all the participants on this call. We have one showing people that are raising up their hands. We have this part that you can search, click and search for anyone if you want to search if anyone is on this call. We have this part that is showing all these avatars of people and their names. Yeah. And then we have another part that is showing where you share your screen. If I stop sharing my screen, it will show another, another style. Then if you come down here, we have, interactivity. I talked about interactivity. How is the interface interactive? So I can click on this thing. A lot of you enjoy using all these styles a lot. You can see that it's sweet. You can express yourself. How do you feel? If I ask you guys, how do you feel? You can do emoji to show me how you're feeling. Can you do that, please? Show me how you're feeling with emoji. Somebody is crying. So, you're enjoying doing all these things. There's interactivity around the application. Then if I want to get out of this call, I can simply click on, please don't get out of, please. I'm just citing it as an example. So I can easily click on this red. Some people have even, created a slang around it. When you are calling them and they are not cool with it, just please stay red. So you already understand that. Just press that red, please. I don't want to talk to you. So you already identify a particular button and a color, and you already identify what it does on your mobile phone, on your laptop, on whatever it is. The interactivity, the way it looks, everything here is the UI. This is the interface of Microsoft, of Google Meet. So this is the interface. So then, aside this interface that we are interacting with, that everybody is happy, you are showing your mood, how you feel, there are a lot of work behind the scene. There are a lot of work behind the scene that you might not know. So if all those work are not in place, this interactivity, the aesthetics, the beauty, you will not like it. So everything work together, both UI and UX. So I've shown you what UI is. I've shown an example. and you all have also confirmed that by also interacting on an interface. Then let's go to the key point from the UI. So the visual and the interactivity element, that's what we just learned. We learned that UI is all about visuals, it's all about interactivity of elements, it's all about user engagement. How do you engage with the button, the layout? What's the understanding about the layout? How clean and nice it looks? Somebody is saying something? Okay, let's proceed. So how fine, and how is the button, how is the color? There's color matching here. There's no, there are no lot of colors here that can confuse you. You can easily understand what is going on here. If you want to get out of this call, you know what to do. It's not that you'll be looking for something to press to get out. If you want to laugh, you know what to press. If you want to clap, you know what to do. You know what to do when you want to do anything here. If you want to raise up your hand, you have access to a button to do that. Do you understand? So that is what UI is all about. And the focus area on what we just treated is the aesthetics, consistency with brand identity. There's a brand identity that each of the products that you use would have. So Google Meet has a brand identity. So you know what, you should be able to identify some of the identity, and then we'll still talk more about it. So brand identity can be the color, the icons they use, the typography, a lot of things attached to that brand is their brand identity. So Google Meet has a platform for you to make calls. Zoom has, what other brand can you mention that has the same platform? Can anyone tell me, please?
Duo, Skype,
Telegram.
Skype, Duo.
You said what?
Duo. Is it GUO?
GUO. Probably I will learn new things from new application from you.
Yeah, there is a phone video call for phone, Skype for laptop and all.
Okay, fine. Somebody mentioned Telegram. Yes, Telegram also has something like this. Then Teams, Microsoft Teams also have something like this. So how do you identify that you are on a Zoom call and you are not on a Google Meet call? If somebody is on a Zoom call and you just peeped and see the interface of the platform, how do you identify that this person is using Zoom, not Google Meet? Can somebody tell me, please?
The color, Zoom is blue.
Yes, you are able to know that from their color. Their what again?
The picture icon.
Their icon, also the usage of the icon, yes.
The color.
Yes, color. Somebody mentioned that.
Yes, me first.
So those are all these things that you are able to use to identify them are called the brand identity. So you understand the color of Google Meet differently from what color Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Telegram, and all other platforms use. So those are brand identity. So a major thing that you need to learn while trying to understand UI is you must learn how to understand brand identity of the particular product that you are building. So that you don't use wrong colors, wrong typography, and all those. So in our lesson 2, we're going to be treating all this so that you understand them. You are able to apply them when you are building designs for yourself. Do you understand? So let's move on. So then we move on to an example. So I'm using this example because I know a lot of people on this call loves to eat cake. Who on this call does not like to eat cake? And we can relate well with it. So sorry that this cake might not be accessible for anyone to eat. It looks nice. I'm using this as an example because it's something that everyone can relate with. So exactly the same analogy we have it on the UX part too. So you'll be able to differentiate this from the UX. So basically UI is for when we are trying to use this cake as an example. You can say UI is the decorations, the icing, all those icing sugar. Do we have bakers on this call? So the bakers can help us identify other things that I might not know. So I can identify icing sugar. I don't know what is it, icing or icing sugar?
Strawberry,
You said what?
strawberry, candlelight,
Yes, we have
strawberry, candlelight,
blueberry,
blueberry.
candlelight. Yes, there's
Yeah,
blueberry. So all those paparazzi, all those things just to make things beautiful, they are the cake. You know, without all these things, your cake is still cake. Say you know.
exactly.
I
The
mean,
cake is the
your cake is still cake.
butter, the
You
butter
can
itself.
eat it. Exactly. You can still enjoy it
Mm.
and eat it. But then what would invite people to eat that cake is the beauty. If you don't organize this thing well, you don't arrange it well, I might just be looking at it like that. If I eat this thing, I will not purge like this. Sure, you understand? But when you beautify it, you make it look nice. It will be, even if that thing is not going to be sweet, it will invite you and you not just have a taste, just taste it, see how it will look. You understand? So the experience after you have now tasted is what we call UX. You know, this is inviting already. Just make it presentable. So the presentation, the decoration, the IC, all those paparazzi is the UI, making things nice. And why you need to know that UI and UX are important is when you now taste the cake and eventually you find out that the cake is not even sweet, it's just fine. You understand? There are websites like that too. There are mobile applications like that. That the mobile application will be fine, will be very clean. Then start doing something on it. It's just like you just hang somewhere, you're not able to get out of something that you're trying to do. You're trying to perform an action and then you just get hung on a particular side of it. You're not able to get out. You're now looking for a button that you click to get out of it.
Like
You
like
understand?
God of War.
Like I don't know that one. So yes, applications, a lot of applications like that I believe that these are things that we can relate with because a lot of us relate with mobile applications and then we relate with a lot of things on our mobile phone and website. So then we go into UX. I believe everyone understands everything about UI. So with the examples, I think once we are done with UX, we can continue this class with the recording because it's almost 9 already. So then we go into UX. So UX is basically the overall, please note that term, overall
Yes,
experience or
sorry, sir, before you
feeling.
continue,
Okay.
please, can you, this your, what's it called? This your file, the thing you are displaying on your screen. Can
Okay.
you sell the PDF file for us, maybe on the group chat, so that we can have it?
Sure. I'll share. I don't want you guys to get distracted. That's why I want you
Yeah,
to.
I'm just saying, maybe after.
Sure. I'll do that.
Mm.
Yes, I'll do that. So the UX refers to the overall experience and the feeling of, the feeling a user have when they interact with the product. How do you interact? How do you feel when you are interacting with a product that is not even, it looks nice, so but eventually when you get in, you just want to click, you're just looking for a button to click and get out of a particular page. You're now sweating. So you'll be very, it will irritate you. You don't like it. You have bad experience about it. So your overall experience about the app or website is the UX. So you see me using the term user a lot when we are talking because everything we'll be building as a UI UX designer, you'll be building them for users. So user that I mean is human being. Do you understand that? So the user are basically human being like you, like me, like every other person. So what will you do to satisfy them? A product you actually build to satisfy the user. They will, they're going to have good, experience about it. So and then every other thing around the world can also be part of the user because I might not be building for just me and you, for a human being. I might be building for, other other things that exist in the world. So I might be building a solution basically for animals. I might be building, it's not that animals will now be pressing their something like phone. No. So building product does not limit to application on mobile phone and system. Some people build application for wristwatch. All those smart wristwatch you use. How do you think all those things compute all those figures when you are running and something is calculating your calorie, something is calculating the step you took, something is, a lot of things. So somebody must have developed something to capture all that. So and other applications, other gadgets beyond just mobile phone, and you might develop a gadget that will be used by dogs. You might develop a gadget that will be used by cats, by pets generally. So it might be an application that you're building to ease the affair of animals. Do you understand? So those animals should have good experience. How do they have good experience? Maybe you build a particular product that is used to brush the hair of a dog or a cat, and then somebody is using that thing to brush the dog, and then that thing just pinch the dog, and then the dog started having bad experiences. From there the dog gets injured and a lot of things happen. That's a bad experience. Even though he's not a human being like us, they have feelings too. Do you understand? So you have to build a product. You have to plan well in building a product for anything you're building it for. So the product we are talking about can actually be goods. It can be services. It can be features. It can be it can be physical products also, as I mentioned earlier. It can be that you are building, you are developing cup. The cup that you use. It can be mug. It can be anything. It could be door. It could be it could be that you are building houses. But as a UI UX designer, we are strictly focused on digital products. Do you understand? Such as mobile app. But as we move on, I'll be using physical product also as example so that we can relate, because we relate more with physical products. The clothing, the shoes, the doors, a lot of things, staircase, all those things, we relate with them every day. So you are able to you can easily spot mistakes, errors when somebody is not doing all those things right. So the same thing, you spot mistakes and error when somebody is not building an application or a website right for you. Do you understand? So UX is all about understanding the journey of the user. So how does the user start with the application? They log in, onboarding screens. Then when they get to onboarding, they fill they fill some forms, and eventually they land on the home page. The journey, the step-by-step journey of the user, you need to understand it. Then you need to understand the pain point of the user, what is actually the user's demand, what is the user's problem. Understand? So when you understand their problem, when you are able to identify it, that is when you are able to design solutions that can enhance their overall experience. So that can help them provide complete solution, the overall and enhance the overall experience of the user. Do you understand? So steps that can be involved in this can be, you have to do research. It could mean that you have to start interviewing people. Probably the product is existing, but you want to improve on it, or you just want to build a new product. So you might need to start talking to people. How do you feel about this part? Or you have competitors already, then you think of bringing in new features that all the competitors do not have. So you start asking people questions. How do you feel about using this app? What are the things that you would like to be added to it? You understand? What is your bad experience about it? What are your good side of the application? You start researching to really understand the pain point of the user. So then after doing the research, you gather all the facts that you have gotten, you synthesize, you convert all the data that you have gotten to something that will be useful, that can help that can inform your decision on design. So those data might be raw, they might not be useful. Then you synthesize it, you are able to convert them to something that is useful and eventually they get to inform your decision on whatever you design. Then after designing, you do testing. You still invite some set of users. You test the application. Yeah, help us try it out, try to log in, then you test their experience. How do you see it? Do you enjoy the experience when you're trying to log in? Then when you're trying, probably is a payment solution. Try to make payment, try to transfer money. You can create a dummy account, then try to do this and that. So people are doing that and they are doing it smoothly. So that is a good experience. But when they're doing it and they're having difficulties, then you have to iterate. So iteration means you have to repeat, go back to the drawing board and iterate and see what you did not do right, and you have to do it again. So building product is not always a finished project. You don't finish building product. WhatsApp would for life continue to update something. Microsoft would continue to see something to do about their product that will enhance the experience of the user. Google would continue to see something new to add. Now we have AI. All those applications are integrating AI into their applications now. We have Meta. If you go on WhatsApp, you can ask Meta a lot of questions and they solve problems for you. Google, all of those things, they are integrating AI into their thing. Another thing can come in like few years to come now, that they would also have to blend, because if they don't, they will get out of the market. Somebody who can do it better will kick them out by providing all those solutions. I believe you will understand that. Hello?
So yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
understand.
So that is why the companies or whoever is producing working on the product will have to iterate. They have to go back on the board again all the time to check what new things they can bring in, and then what are the things they did not do right, and they have to correct it. You see, sometimes some brand will develop something, they will update something on the application that you are using, and in another few weeks you see them changing it again. You now be asking, why did you build this thing initially? It happens. It's not, it's not wrong to make mistakes when you're designing, but then you are able to get some the user's feedback on what you built, and the user started complaining that, oh, we did not enjoy it, because you're building for the user, you don't build for yourself. So the feedback of the user, a lot of time, I know a lot of you might go on Twitter, you start tagging OPay, maybe OPay remove money from your application, from your account, or I'm just mentioning OPay as an example. I'm not saying OPay does that, you understand? So it could be any other payment platform. Sometimes when they remove your money unnecessarily, or it could be network platform, it could be anything, you understand? So when your money is removed wrongly, you go on Twitter, you start tagging them, you start complaining, you start doing all those things, then some of them will respond to you. It might be that they are trying to resolve some things within their team, and then eventually they get it resolved and you are happy about it. All those things are experiences, and then you eventually eventually get out of all those things eventually when they get it solved. So sometimes the company are also working around the clock to ensure that the user gets the best. Do you understand? So key points from this, you should understand that UX means overall experience that the user have while interacting with your products. It could be physical or digital products. Then the focus area we talked about, that we said UX is basically all about user journey and needs. It's about the needs and the journey of the user while they are using your application, and then you are solving the problem of the user while with the understanding of the UX. So it's basically solving the problem, the pain point of the user. So example of a problem that you want to solve is confusing navigation. User is finding it difficult to navigate around an application. They want to move from here to another place. They're finding it difficult to do so. So that can be a problem that you want to solve. Then we have the cake analogy again for the UX. So I believe we can relate with this analogy here. You can see that we have even more details on the UX. So the UX is, I said, is the overall experience, Abi. So that means it has to cover what we have on the UI. Sorry. So this is what we had on the UI. Then we have other things attached to it, from the dirty work that the baker have to do to, you know, to mix the flour, to, you know, all these steps, all this, the beginning matters. You know, the bakers, they understand how much they have to do all these things to make sure that they get the good result. Sometimes if they don't do it well from the beginning, the result will not be fine. They have to stop, they have to cancel it and redo again. That cake might be wasted. I believe we understand. Do we have any baker on this call that can relate with what I'm saying, or you have baker as a family? Yes, we do. So you can relate with what I'm saying. So sometimes you are trying to get a result from a flour. Maybe you are trying to use that flour to produce a cake, and then the mixture and everything is not good. You did not do it well. It doesn't give you the result. You have to waste it, or you have to use it for another thing. You have to go over again to buy another flour and try. So that is UX. The UX is the beginning of the work, from mixing of the flour. In fact, from deciding the type of flour you buy. Sure, you understand? So from making decision on what kind of flour, okay, people have been saying that this type of flour is not good. If I use it, it will not make my cake come out well. So you be careful about the selection of your flour. Then selection of other things too, you be careful about them. So to make sure that you get good results. Then it goes to you turning it to cake and then decorating it, and then you have this beautiful cake. And then it goes beyond just having something beautiful. It also goes to packaging. Okay, if I want to take this cake to the owner now, will I just carry it like this? So the owner might, if I carry it just like this to the owner and the place is far, the owner might start, you know, a lot of things will start running in the brain of the person. Wow, how will you carry something like this from so place to so place? And probably flies has actually, you know, laid on this cake. Probably, you know, dust has stained part of the cake. Probably, you know, a lot of things start running in your mind, and then eventually you might get irritated and you don't want to eat it. But when you see it well packaged like this, fine, and you are sure, it shows you, that gives you the assurance that this thing is safe. You can eat it. So nothing touch it. It's well packaged. Then you enjoy it. So it goes from the beginning to the end, and this is the end result. The end result is when the user starts eating it, and the user and eventually the user enjoys it. Do you understand? So that is the overall experience of the user. Then I pick this as an example. This is another form of user. So this is Junior, and Junior is the first birthday of Junior, and deliberately you want Junior to just play around, you know, waste the cake and just play with it, or have some taste of it and eat, you know. And eventually this kind of cake is not soft enough for Junior to play with, or something is hidden inside the cake that can cause injury, or something is within the cake that is not meant for a child. You know, some people used to preserve cake with alcohol. Are you aware? Yeah. Some people used to preserve cake.
That's correct.
Yes, some people used to preserve cake with alcohol, and eventually you mistakenly preserve Junior's cake with alcohol. You know what? You know what might happen. So, or you know, and then there's extract of pork from what you use in preparing the cake, and then you are providing that cake for you are delivering it to a Muslim. You know, you have gone outside what you're supposed to do. Do you understand? It's a bad experience for such Muslim. So eventually, when the Muslim discover that something like this is part of it, so that's why most products, they used to list out all the content of their product. So this also is an example of an experience. So this little Junior should have good experience about what is designed for him and what you want him to do with the cake. So it should suit his persona. So it's a personal, everything that has to do with this cake should suit it. So the cake must not have anything that can actually cause harm to him, and the cake must be soft enough for him to play with and all that. Do you understand that? So I think we are going to end this class with this last thing. I just cited examples of, you know, bad and good UX. So this is an example of a mobile app. You are trying to, you know, make selections. The mobile app is asking you, what does this remind you of? Or it might ask you, what choice will you like to make here? So you are making choice. Then this first screen is not showing you, is not really appearing as something that you can click. And this second one is providing you with option to click. This is the initial state. This is what every other things will have. Then when you click, you see interaction. You see a feedback that it checks it. It checks it. So you are sure that I've selected this thing. This thing is selected. You are very sure. And then there's also icons that is, you know, complementing the word here. Storm. There's something storm here. Harvest. There's something complementing it. And then sometimes something also complementing the leaf. Then you can check and select. You make your selection and you see a button to continue. Yeah, there's no button to continue. I'll get confused. I don't know what to do. I start tapping the screen. Nothing is coming up. It's a bad experience. Do you understand? That is for digital products. Let's see examples in physical products. So this guy is trying to use ATM machine, and he has to stand in front of the machine to do that. Can you see there's a pole, a slant pole here that is disrupting his action? If you are this man, if you are able to collect money from this ATM today, will you like to go back to the same ATM machine if you have other options? Hello?
No.
Or
I would like
rather
to
use
know.
the US.
Yeah. So you say it's a bad US because this thing is actually posing you to danger. Eventually, you might, you know, it's even a staircase, like there's a stairs there. Something might happen that you might get injured. So you don't want to go back to it. Then the second example is, you know, this is a tap. Probably this is a restroom. And then you want to wash your hand. Where you're supposed to put your hand to wash, the water is not directly positioned inside it. The water is going out of it. So this will cause damage to the building because this water will start leaking, will start dropping on the floor, and then everywhere will be littered with water. And then even you that you're trying to perform something with the water, you are not able to use it. It's a bad experience. So the same thing with this, an instruction that is telling you to pull or push a door to open the door. You are not sure of what to do because this thing is saying pull, push. What do? You get confused. I know a lot of us we are faced with this kind of problem whenever we are trying to enter supermarket or stores. Probably the instruction is not there at all, or they place the instruction wrongly. Instead of you to pull, you push, and then you discover that the door did not open. At times, the door might even get damaged because of the force that some people might put in trying to do that thing. Because when you see something pull, you want to pull it with force because you are sure, you are certain that this is what you are supposed to do, and then you do it, it is wrong thing, then the door might get damaged. So these guys are trying to assess somebody inside there, probably to make payment or do something. And then the small hole that is made for you to be able to see the person inside to interact is positioned below the height of these guys. So they have to, you know, they have to bend down to be able to access that person. So there's no inclusivity in this kind of experience. So though this experience is good because it might be that they design it for a child, but if you are not sure that it is only child that is going to be attended to here, it's better to put everybody in consideration. You have this side for children, then you have another side for the adults. So inclusivity is, you are inclusive about whatever you are doing. You make sure that you are considering everybody, even people with disabilities. You consider them. Imagine somebody that is disabled and the person cannot bend down. Some people might have issues with their legs and they cannot do this. So that means the person will be denied of something. So the same thing here also. So these are examples that we can all relate with. Then lastly, this is an example of a cup that you are trying to drink water from, and then the cup has something that is disrupting the access to it. So whenever you're trying to drink something from the cup, this extra thing is is entering your eyes. This can cause a lot of problem for people. So these are examples of bad UX, bad experience. So we'll continue with the same course, with the same topic actually. So I'll continue with the recording, then we'll have it tomorrow. So this is after 9 already. It's late already, and we might want to sleep and do other things. So if you have questions, we can entertain questions for just few minutes. Then we end this class. Thank you. Questions?
Okay. You say before.
Can you hear me, please?
You said what? Yes, I can hear you clearly.
I said my question is for the UI UX design. It doesn't necessarily require writing code to create any, just to maybe perhaps have everything in
Yes, it
place
doesn't.
and get it
Yeah,
done.
it doesn't. Yeah. So if you, by the time you get to a stage in design, you might want to, try to learn how to code too. But code is not necessary from the beginning to the end of this, from the beginning of the end of the career. It's not. It's just. It could just be like an extra skill that you want to learn. But you don't get distracted from the beginning. You're sure that you are certified in one thing before you move to another. Do you understand? So the closest thing that designer does, the closest thing that designer do is they learn no code development. No code development like Framer, Webflow, WordPress, and all those. So because you can easily interact and relate with all those platforms because they look like Figma that we are going to be using to design, to build designs for as a UI UX designer. Do you understand? So that's the closest thing that you can easily switch to as a designer. But code is, you are going too far.
Okay.
Probably you have that capacity after learning this, and then you are already working. It's not that you have not gotten a job yet. You have spent a lot of time learning UI UX, and then you just think that let me learn coding again. So eventually they'll say jack of all trades, master of none. So you just be jack of all trades, you keep learning different things, and then you are not master of any. So you master this first, then eventually you want to also add up something to your portfolio. Any other questions?
Right, I understand now. Thank you very much.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I just want to say this. Well done. It was a very fantastic presentation. I think I loved everything you said, and it's really an encouraging start from you to all of us. So thank you so much and well done.
Thank you.
That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Anyone with question?
So in this what is it called? This
First
program.
off,
Yes. So are we like as we are designing, are we creating like a portfolio for our design? Will you teach us how to create a portfolio for in case after we practice finish so that we can get jobs?
yes, I mentioned earlier that there are assessments attached to every classes. So after we finish this class, probably when the recording is sent to YouTube, you see the assessment. So the assessments, when we start practicals, when you start using the Figma to design. So
Yes.
part of the assessment is that before the end of this course, you must be able to work on a project on your own.
On your
So and then
own.
yes, there will be paired. So you'll be paired with people with somebody on that you're learning with.
Collaboration on
Collaborate exactly. So you collaborate, build a project together. Then you do individual projects.
Before you continue, sir. So I was suggesting if there will be like a challenge, so that if there's no challenge, it won't really push people to do some things. It's online. It's not
like what?
like a challenge. Like I don't know. I just
Okay, you mean we set up challenge?
Which is something like that. Yes.
That's the assessment alone is a challenge.
Okay.
You get that? The assessment is the challenge that has been attached to this for you.
So the point is we are creating a Figma group, Abby, so that we can mingle together on Figma.
Yes, there's going to be collaboration. Yes, so everything around that has been covered. Yes, so we
just share our page with your
class. You say what?
We just have to share with your Gmail, like you'll be the one to create.
Don't worry about that. This is just the beginning. So all the instructions that you will need from the beginning of this class, we'll get to discuss them with you as time goes by.
How many?
We cannot feed you with everything in just one class.
Okay. How many? Sorry. Okay. Last is how many days in a week?
This is the same time that we'll be having the class every week.
Okay.
Just every Sunday.
Every Sunday, Sunday.
Exactly. Then over the week, you can practice. You can watch the YouTube video that will be posted. I said this class is not completed yet. The complete part of the class will be posted on YouTube. So you can go there and see the complete part. Then you see the assessment also in the YouTube. You attempt the assessment, you submit before the next class. You must not carry the assessment that is attached to this particular class to the next one, because the next one is coming with another assessment.
Okay.
You get that?
I get you.
So that means you need to all eyes on YouTube. You need to get connected, and you need to visit that YouTube all the time to get to learn beyond the class. Any other question, please, before we end the class?
I'm sorry, sir. Sorry, I said the last question I'm going to ask is, how many months does is the program lasting us?
This is just a beginner class, and the beginner class is 1 month. So a link has been sent to this chat board, so you can click on it and then you drop your further questions. So this particular one is lasting. The course is lasting for just 1 month. So everything is in. You have the curriculum and you have the roadmap. Just go through it. Most of the questions you are asking, they are already answered there.
Okay, so it's because I don't have access to it.
You are not on the group, on the WhatsApp group.
I'm on the WhatsApp group. But
that's where all the communications, that's where everything was passed. Probably it was sent before you join. Yes. Don't worry, we'll keep sending those information, you get them. Yeah, so we don't want to, feed you guys with too much information, too much details at this beginning. A lot of people will run away if you do that. So one step at a time. So this is just the beginner class. So let's take it as we have planned.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that marks the end of the class. I don't know if Mr. Woodley has anything to add up before we end the class. Hello, sir. Okay, so Let's end the class now. Then, as I mentioned, please let's watch out for the video on YouTube. The link to the video will be sent to the group. Please let's just stay close to the group and look out for information there. Yeah, thank you, Esther. Thank you so much. So good night, everyone.